Well, it's a Farmall Friday. We talk about Farmalls on Farmall Friday. Here comes the intro. Vietnam era music and Buddy Holly era tractors. Well, and some of you had the fortune or misfortune of seeing my short video last night, how I have decided to go ahead and follow through with doing what this tractor needs. And, you know, the reality is if I ever was to sell it, at least it'll be functional. I have done some stuff to it. New starter, rebuilt, new wiring. It's all cattywampus. I, zip tied it. This will be gone. Voltage regulator. I'm going to do a one-wire Delco and put a new ammeter on it, new heat gauge. Let's see, I'll probably rebuild the carburetor. I do have an inline filter. Where are you? Oh, there you are, and it's absolutely filthy. But this is the power steering unit. Same unit that I have on the Super MTA, the Charlene. I like it. It's tucked tightly under the sheet metal. Nothing against the Baylin system setup, works fine, but this is the Charlene. There isn't even a belt on this, but I will tell you, and when you look at this pulley, and I don't know if you can see, but it's bent, and I don't know if he ran into something or it just went bad, but this is going to have to be taken off and replaced for sure. And then I'm going to have to get up into the reservoir itself. I would go out on a limb and say that it could even be dry up in the reservoir. But yeah, that has to be changed. Get some fluid in the reservoir, see where the leaks are. Some lines probably just need tightened up. That's pretty much was true on the SMTA. And by the way, for those of you that are not in the know, this is basically an SMTA with different sheet metal. And I know that's going to start a fight, but oh well, go ahead and fight. You guys fight it out. I'll be sitting in my recliner. I have done at least 2 or 3 oil changes on this since I've owned it. And when I did buy it, it did not have a muffler. And somebody was asking about this muffler. Is that original? That's one that fits, and that was brand new. I just went to the local dealer here and bought that. I prefer one that's more like that for this, and but just for a loader tractor, good grief, I didn't care. This is pretty much a light duty loader. We know somebody else that has a 504 that does not do really everything that he needs it to do, and I'm sure this would not do a lot more than the 504, although I think it would lift more for sure. I just don't think it's, if you were going to do, say, round bale work or something where you're lifting up to maybe 1,500 pounds often, probably not your loader. For me, this is something, if I buy a plow or whatnot, and it it's on the trailer and I need to lift it up, back up, set it on the ground, that's what this is for, just unloading light to medium level equipment. If I bought say a 10-foot set of discs, this could definitely lift that. Now, the International 2000 loader, there's kind of a steek that this 2000 means 1 ton, that it can lift 1 ton. And I don't doubt that it can. Somebody asked in the short comments, what size are the steers? 7.50 by 16. One size up from normal, which is 650 16s, but they look a lot bigger. And I don't know, I've done little things like replace springs and just stuff. I need to go through the throttle linkage and make sure that's all squared away. This is going to get a John Deere. It's going to be a runner, man. This thing's going to be a gamer, and I'm just going to inch by inch it. I don't know how much I'll show. Like, will I show putting a one-wire alternator on this thing? Maybe, maybe not. I can tell you this much. If you want to see that done, I did it to the Super MTA. It's probably in the Super MTA playlist. There's not a lot to it. In fact, when you buy the kit, they send you the diagram, and it's like run wire here, wire goes there, goes here, goes over there. I mean, it's idiot-proof, really. I replaced this. I flushed this system out, put all new Hytran in there. This is a brand new filter. Actually, if you go to the 400 playlist, I think that video will be on there. I do see some rodent activity up in here, because there's some treated soybean seeds there, so probably do have rodent activity going on in here. This will be taken off and cleaned out. Initially, when I did the ratty wire job, there were rodents living in there. So let me see what else. The torque amplifier works fantastic. That's one of the first things I tested. It just, you know, with the loader on it and stuff, I guess it just was never used to get worn out. But PTO never used it. I will be replacing brakes, as you probably can guess, without power steering and having a heavy load on there. You're going to cheat by using some brakes. There's no doubt, and I've done that. This one's a little bit tighter than this one, so must have needed that right one a little bit more. Will not be putting a belt pulley on there. And yeah, I like everything else though. One wire, changing this out. These will get you out of a bind, and it worked okay on a Super MTA for me for a while, but that's really about it. I'll probably just do a complete tune-up. I don't know if this has the internal resistor in it, but I don't do an external ballast resistor. I think it's just one more unnecessary step, so I always get the coil with the built-in one. I'll do a full tune on that, change a filter. That's really about it. Power steering, alternator. The battery in this is new, and I'll go battery cables, throttle linkage, brakes. I think we got a loader at that point. Any goofiness going on in the front end, I don't see a lot, but I will inspect it closer. Over the years, this has dripped oil from here to there, made it dirty. I'll pressure wash all this off, and that way I can see if anything needs just a little spot weld. I mean, good grief, in the playlist, I've used this thing to clear field edges. And, you know, a couple old timers that are probably no longer with us, at least with this channel, took offense to that. Oh, you're using that as a bulldozer. Man, I'm using what I got, you know. That's what farmers did in my day, man. You hopped on a machine you had and you used it for what you could. And that's just the way it was. Somebody mentioned these tires, and I'll be honest with you, this is definitely going to be the last thing that I throw on here. I'll probably look for just a used set of 15.5s. These, surprisingly, are not loaded. They're not. And I was still able to, without any kind of counterweight in the rear to include wheel weights or loaded tires, was still able to lift pretty heavy stuff. I mean, and I got proof. You know, I was able to lift at least, you know, half ton to, you know, ton or close to maximum capacity without even bucking up in the rear. So, but that will change. I will get rear wheel weights for this. There is no fast hitch on this 400. I'd like to have a 450 with a fast hitch. I think that would be completely cool and highly complementary to the SMTA. I would find getting a 400 with a fast hitch redundancy, because it's kind of the same tractor. You know what I mean? So, but a 450 is not. It's got the 281 engine in it, considerably more horsepower. You don't think so? Oh, no, we run neck and neck with that 450 and that SMTA. I don't think so. You know, just like when I got the SMTA out, it did heads and tails above what the M did. And I didn't even I pulled back on the torque amplifier, but truthfully, it was just for fun. But yeah, so that's where I'm at with the 400. First things first, I'm going to convert it over and then change brakes. So I'll have 12-volt brakes, throttle, and then I'm going to dig into that power steering so that I don't continue to go through brake after brake after brakes after brakes. That's pretty much the deal, man. And then somebody was asking about the 756 and if I was ever going to sell it based on the fact that I am buying a new diesel this year. And let me define what I consider a big classification of diesel in this era of tractor. I was going to draw this for you on a dry erase board, but no, I'll save you the agony. The smallest big diesel tractor that International Farmall made would be like the 706 with the German 310, the 756 with the German 310. Those are your, there's the Mendoza line, and then you had the 706 with the 282 and the 263 gas. Those are still, I consider those the biggest small tractors. Now, once they put the German 310 in, and then the 756 come along with the 310, and then of course the gas, this is a 291. Those were your smallest big tractors. So, I'm looking for anything up to a 15, like what would be a 1586, that's a cab tractor, but like up to a 1566, 1456, cleared down to even a really nice 856. Would I buy a 756 or a 766? I think after I buy the bigger one, like in a year or so, I might grab a 766. It just makes sense to me right now to grab the biggest horsepower. And I've never understood tractors as far as like what's considered antique. You go to some of these antique pulls and stuff, and 1960 and under is what they classify as antique. It's like, well, that's not how they classify cars. Who come up with that? Leave a comment down below if you know. But that's pretty much how I view a big tractor versus a small tractor. Your 656, your 560, 282, American 282, that was your big little tractor. And then of course the German 310 on up started your, those were your smallest big tractors back in the day, of course. I normally don't wait this long after, from one of the, I don't want to say the last video, but one of the last videos, I rebuilt pretty much this whole box, kept the switch, and then there's not a little sticker here, so let's get the emblem on there. Oh, these little decal packets, man. This one was 30 bucks, and I don't even remember what all's in it. I do know that is in it, off, dim and bright, so. Well, there we go. Finally, that little monkey's off my back. Some people would argue and say it goes up here, but nah. Left side, that's the crib side. Dim, bright. You can actually see the light lit up. It's the little things. But going back to somebody asking me if I would ever sell this, I never say never. It's a gas tractor. It has its use. I've used it to pull a Caldam Ultra, a 12-foot Caldam Ultra that it doesn't even really know it's back there. I would go through this tractor and make sure it's in starting, running, every kind of order that you can think of, which it basically is, other than the clutch safety switch underneath has been bypassed, which I'm not going to fix. If I was going to sell this tractor, I'd ask 6500 firm. It's as straight as an arrow, and there's just nothing wrong with it. But make no mistake, you wouldn't get the front weights. You might get the front bracket, but you're not getting my suitcase weights. That's not happening. You're not getting the hubs in the rear either. I'll strip her on down. But yeah, I might give you that. I like those in the front anyways because I like to throw chains in them in case somebody else gets stuck. Or I need to drag something. But yeah, I'm in no hurry to move it if I do. I'm the type of guy, this tractor could be sitting right here in 12 years.